Hello, everybody. Welcome back to another Outlast episode recap. I am Alex, your producer and host.
I am Hannah, your co-producer and co-host.
Hooray! We are recapping episode 6 of Outlast, titled "It's Gonna Be a Huge Blindside," and so it was.
That it was, or not.
Yeah,
Depending on how you look at
she
it.
sniffed it out to some degree.
She did.
This was a really fun episode. I feel like I say that every week, but for my money, this was the episode with the most satisfying individual story. I think we'll probably talk about that a lot, but from the beginning of the episode to the end, like it's the question of who Purple's going to vote out, and like there's the seed planted of like, maybe Tess wants to blindside Macy, which is really fun, but also you don't know, maybe they're going to just revert to Lydia. Joe feels targeted too.
Yeah.
Then all along the way, there's this like evolution of what might be happening, such that you're really not sure until it happens.
Yeah. Lydia really, I don't know how she did it. She slipped her way out of that one, and it was impressive because, again, I don't know how she did it, because you would have thought she would have been like the obvious answer to like who they were going to get out.
Yeah.
But guess not.
So we'll talk about that progression, I'm sure. But first, let's not brush over the game that Macy played. Macy voted out in this episode. I really felt like she was one of the strong strategic players to this point in the game. And I think her biggest mistake, if you can call it that, is that she showed her hand a little bit too early in that, and that everybody was talking, man, we need to get Macy out because she's really good and she's being a big threat. So from the very beginning, it seemed like she was strategizing and moving people to align with her.
She wasn't afraid to take charge, and that I think was a downfall of hers in this game.
Yeah. So she really dictated a lot of, I think, what was happening in the Purple Tribe, even though pre-swap they didn't go to Tribal. She definitely seemed to be leading the charge strategically. And yeah, with them looking closer and closer to the merge, that tribe decided, it's time to cut bait here with Macy.
Definitely.
But a really strong, a really good game. She did a great job on camera too. Those confessionals were all
she was
really
great on camera.
Yeah.
She knew what she was going to say, and she said it well.
Yeah. I think back to even the very first episode, she gave a big confessional, like storytelling how Ben found that totem that was so invaluable to have, because otherwise she just like told the story perfectly and you matched it up with the footage and it was it went great.
Perfect. Yeah.
Rip Macy. Well played. Pour one out.
Yep.
So like I said, my favorite thing about this episode is the journey of like your expectation for the Purple Tribe and what they were going to do. Like at the very beginning, we check in with the tribe. Lydia says like, all right, like I'm in an okay place. Both, it's kind of split, the guys and the girls, and both are coming to me. I'm the swing vote. That's good. Macy's like, all right, I think maybe we should get together and vote out Lydia. So like, oh man, maybe Lydia's in the dark. Then Tess says, I think maybe I would like to vote out Macy. And then you're like, oh, wow, and Macy's in the dark about that. And then they go to the challenge, they lose, and initially Joe thinks he might be targeted by Macy and Tess, and then Macy confirms they want to target Lydia, and then Tess and that other group, Lydia and Jack and Joe, get together and say, hey, we should maybe blindside Macy. They get together on that. Macy doesn't sniff it out. But then we get to Tribal Council, and we'll talk about Joe's bomb at length later. But then he pulls that move, and you see you see Tess really get like, she starts thinking about it again, and like, oh man, that was wild. I don't know if I want to do this. You even see her at the voting booth, like really contemplating what she wants to do. She says she wants to change everything. Yeah. And so even to that last moment, I think as a viewer, you're not sure if they're gonna go through with it.
Yeah, but it was, I mean, obviously too late to really do anything. I mean, being in Tessa's shoes, you couldn't really talk to Macy and decide. I mean, she didn't really know who Macy was going to vote for at that point anymore, and
you would have
it would still be 2 against 3. So I mean,
you would have to plunge that tribal into complete chaos.
Yeah, there is no.
Okay, this is what's happened. Like Joe did, where he just called a shot. It would have taken Tess saying, Macy, who are we voting for? Lydia, do that too. We're going to vote Joe out because that was wild, you know? And then it would be, would they all go with it? So it was a cool journey, I thought, of how, what we thought would happen.
Yeah. It was definitely crazy. I even rewatching it, I had completely forgotten that Joe did that.
Yeah.
And I was there, and then rewatching it, I was still shocked that he said that. I mean, just like flat out, was like, yeah, I mean, we're playing it on Macy.
Yeah.
And like just said it right there, which is crazy.
I think it was the most entertaining tribal council so far.
Oh,
between
for sure.
that and then Macy's reaction and then Tessa's reaction.
Yeah.
It's a phrase in Survivor world. A live tribal means that like things are changing at tribal council. It was very much a live tribal.
Yeah, which is funny. I don't remember if I was even actually there or if I just watched it afterward.
Okay.
But
maybe that's why you don't remember.
I know. Maybe that's why.
Yeah, maybe you're on a break that
I think
sequence.
I might have been. Yeah. But anyway.
It was really fun. Okay, cool. Let's kind of run down from the top and hit each element and talk through stuff we need to talk through.
Okay.
The challenge was a pretty quick one, a pretty simple one. They had to throw the bags through the hoop and then bounce them off the trampolines. Hannah got really upset when I called a trampoline a tramp.
I did. He said, "Oh, what was the exact phrasing of that you used?"
I was like, that bag got stuck in the tramp.
Oh yeah, something like that. I was like, it's not a tramp. It's a trampoline. I just don't. Yeah, it's not a tramp.
Put in the comments whether it's acceptable to call a trampoline a tramp or not.
It's not.
I think it's fine. Whatever.
I was a little disturbed. It's okay. I moved past it.
Oh, I'm sorry to have
Too late now.
you.
It's all good.
Yeah, this was a pretty straightforward challenge. Blue, again, was kind of running the show from the moment it started. They had the lead, never gave it up. Strategically, a lot of them threw it underhanded through the hoop, which I didn't think about when we were designing this. I expected them all baseball throwing in.
No, I never see. That's so funny because I never would have thought they would baseball throw through that. It was too low.
Huh.
I don't know.
Yeah, interesting.
I don't know. It looked like it would be an awkward angle to try to. I don't know.
Yeah.
Maybe it's because I didn't play baseball.
Could be. I don't know. And then in the basket portion, blue again. I think what separates the blue tribe from the purple tribe, in the challenges is not necessarily that blue is more athletic. But that they're more skillful.
Yeah.
Right? Like Joe and Jack and even like Macy and Lydia are really athletic on the purple tribe. And the difference is like Will and Jake Chuddy have the skillful ability, like we've seen in the last 2 challenges, to bounce something off a trampoline and get it to land, or to throw something on top of a ledge and get it to land.
Yeah.
Where maybe, Jack is just more strong and fast and less skillfully athletic, you know what I mean?
Yeah. I mean, yeah. I guess that's true. Also, I mean, no offense to the purple tribe, you all are awesome, but I think generally speaking, the blue tribe probably is just overall more athletic.
I think probably,
which is kind of just a bummer. I mean, but honestly, they have a lot of more sport-oriented people, and that's just, I don't know.
Yeah. It's our intent in the design of each of these that it's not like a pure strength or speed thing, right? So the last challenge, the blindfolded thing, right, was a lot about communication, and even the throwing the thing on the wall was about a skill versus pure athleticism. This one was fully skill based, throwing something off of something. You could be super fast or super jacked, but not know how to throw a ball well. Yeah, so
it's true.
Yeah. Not a whole lot to talk about through the challenge. Other than that, I don't think.
That was a fun one, though. We practiced beforehand.
That was when we got to test a lot.
Yeah, when we tested that one, I loved that. I thought it was so fun.
Yeah.
So, it was a cool one.
Not a whole lot to talk about from the blue tribe either. We saw them a little bit at the beginning where they're kind of laying out what's going on. Yeah. I think it was worth noting that, Will explicitly says that there's no other idols or advantages in play. When there is, they just missed it, and it's still in that bag. They just failed to see it. And there's also the interesting thing that Jake says where he's like, yeah, I think that me and Will and Hootner are going to vote out Jenna, which hopefully as a viewer, that those three, Will, Jake, and Jenna, are super close. Yeah. And that's probably not going to happen. That Jake's getting duped.
Yeah. I mean, yeah. Like, we'll see how it plays out, but that is kind of a long shot, I feel like, to think. Yeah, it's funny that he thinks that, because we've been watching the competition the whole time. Right. I mean, they've been inseparable, so we'll see. Yeah,
but he believes it, right? Well, at least he believes it enough to say it to a camera, so. My favorite thing about the tribal portion, other than, again, the way that the story or the plan changes so frequently, there are these two lines from Jack. I made a point to point them out to you when we were watching it. He says to Lydia and Tess and Joe at one point, they're sitting around, and he's like, oh, we should, at the merge, join up with the rest of your former blue tribe and get out the rest of those purples. And Joe's like, oh, yeah. And Lydia's like, oh, for sure, because of course she's on board with it because she's a blue originally. Yeah. And then later, he's there with Macy instead of Lydia.
Previous to that scenario.
Yeah. So he's there with Macy instead of Lydia, and he says the exact same thing, but in reverse. He says, we should vote Lydia out, and at the merge, get back together with the rest of the purple and vote out the rest of the blues. Yeah. And Joe honestly played it off really well. He's like, that's a good idea.
Yeah, both times. Yeah.
He's
just flipped what he said.
I just thought it was hilarious.
It is
that
funny.
He literally said the same thing in reverse. I mean, it's smart gameplay, right? Because he said one of them to earn the trust and the favor of Lydia, and the other to earn the trust and favor of Macy. And one of them he was obviously going to deceive because they couldn't both simultaneously be true.
Yeah, exactly.
I just thought it was really funny.
It was funny that he's literally said the exact same words, just flipped.
Yeah. And I think it made it in the edit, but there's a moment where when he's talking with Macy in that group, you see it's like Jack has this revelation. He's like, oh, you know what we should do? We should join up with the rest of the purples and vote out the blues. And it's like, you're making this up. But you played it off really well. It was pretty funny.
Or maybe he really did have that revelation. Maybe, he just didn't even realize.
Yeah.
It could have
sounds familiar somehow. Yeah. I thought that was really fun. Anything else from the tribes that are worth mentioning, you think?
I don't know. I mean, really, tribal was the huge thing. Yeah. I think we start to see, I feel like there's some interview maybe with Macy. It was there before that she kind of doubted.
Yeah, you see that she's perceiving that something is up.
Yeah.
Even through tribal, you see that.
Yeah.
But she never realizes the fullness of what that is.
Exactly, yeah.
So she thinks okay, Lydia's trying to shake things up, doesn't realize that really it's her whole tribe that are kind of in on it, And I don't think she realizes that even until the votes are read,
Yeah. Huh.
Let's talk about tribal.
Yeah, that was the big thing.
Yeah. Give me your tribal take.
Honestly, I was just in shock. I mean, like I said, rewatching it even, I was like, Joe just did that. He just said.
It was awesome.
He just gave the plan away. But I mean, it didn't matter. There was literally nothing. And Macy tried to talk her way out of it, but there was nothing they could do. At that point, it was too late. And that was the plan. And so it was very tense. Yes. You could even just watching it, you can feel the tension. Yeah. It's just crazy. But
Macy did do a good job of trying to get out from underneath it. And the circumstances were such that there was a real possibility that maybe it could have happened. Yeah. It felt of all the ways that it could have happened, the fact that Tess was kind of floundering on it was an open door, Yeah. Or at least the door was cracked slightly ajar. And
I don't know how much, I'm yelling.
You're good.
I don't know how much she was actually second guessing herself and how much it was Macy's my friend, I feel bad.
Yeah.
So I don't think she ever really had any intention of switching.
Interesting.
I think maybe she was just this is awkward.
You really think she was playing it off?
I kind of do.
Do you?
Honestly.
It felt genuine to me. I'd have to ask her.
I mean, I think the hurt, like not hurt, but I think she felt
bad.
like
It's her
bad.
friend,
Yes,
yeah.
I think that was genuine.
Yeah.
But I don't think she had any intention of ever like actually switching. I think her plan was her plan, and it was her idea for the most part. I don't think she ever had any intention of switching. But
Sure. Let's talk about the potential positive or negative of Joe's decision to drop the whole hammer there.
Yeah.
How could that be good? How could that be bad? Both in completing that vote successfully and then also for his game down the road. I kind of have to think about it too.
I think the only way it could be that bad was that it gave Macy the opportunity to try to talk them out of it. And it put a kind of a target on his back. So if she successfully talked her way out of it, he would probably be the one to go. So that was the only bad thing. I think down the road, like, say he were to make it to the merge and then he's faced with, Macy.
Sure.
I think Macy respected that he said, like, that he told her the plan.
Yeah.
Like, she said even afterwards, she was like, I said I didn't want to be blindsided.
Yeah.
I said to just be straight up with me.
Yeah.
And he was. So I don't think she really held it against him. Like, he just told her the plan. That was it.
Yeah.
So I don't know.
I think with most things in Outlast and Survivor, of course, because this is based off of Survivor, any sort of move, it like has the potential for good or bad, depending on like the circumstances to come, or there's a mix of both, you know?
Yeah.
So I think by going out and saying we're voting for Macy in that moment, in that vote, it both solidifies for the people like in your coalition who you think are voting with you, like after maybe there's some talk that may make things more wishy-washy, it says, this is what we're doing, guys, don't change your vote. On the other hand, like you said, it gives maybe Macy an in to now know, okay, I have to do something, and maybe she's trying harder, and it opens the door for her. Down the road, I think similarly, it makes Joe, it raises everybody's awareness of Joe by doing this, right? Everybody's more aware of him, which could be good in the sense that it might make people looking way down the line look at him and be like, man, remember when he did that? That was a big move. It makes it look like he's kind of making decisions, which could be good for the way that other players see him in the end game. But also by ousting yourself in that way, it puts a bigger target on your back because now he's seen more as like a decision maker than perhaps Jack or perhaps Lydia or Tess,
Which could be a bad thing or a good thing. I mean, they could look at him and say, decision maker, we want him, he could be a threat, we want him gone. Or they could, he's less like just the outsider, know? So. And
it could make him appear volatile too, which is the last word I would ever use to describe Joe Turtle is volatile. But in that, it was kind of a volatile move, Just this is what we're going to do. If nothing else, it was good TV.
Yes, exactly. Yeah. That's another one of like the, honestly, just the benefits of it is that it was just good TV.
Best tribal council so far,
For
I'd
sure.
say. Yeah.
Yeah. He laid it all out there. It was crazy.
Yep. Anything we missed?
I don't know. She had a great exit interview. She laid it out.
It did set the table really well again. Yeah.
Yeah. And I think it's so cool the way she she literally said, she was like, it doesn't look like Lydia is in charge, but Lydia has the power.
Yep.
And that was so funny. Like that was just, cause she's right. You don't see it. Even in the footage, you don't really see it as much, but she lays it right out there. She's like, Lydia has the power.
Yeah.
She was like, she is in charge. Which is, I think, funny.
I remember even talking with her like off camera later. She said that pretty much exact same thing of like, it doesn't look like it, but she came in that camp and like won everybody over to her side, even though it doesn't seem that way. And maybe even they don't know that they've been won over to her side, but it's what happened. So
crazy.
Yeah. Another big week for Lydia too. Not only surviving tribal, but also like gaining some allies. It's not just a survival, but like an advancement in her place in the tribe. So.
Yep. Very interesting.
Yep. So next week, we have the week off at the 6th, so no Outlast episode next Sunday. But on the 14th, our next episode, episode 7, will come out. And it's, again, another really fun tribal council. I won't spoil anything, but another top-tier tribal experience.
They're really all made. They only go up from here, honestly.
I actually can't wait. I haven't gotten to edit it yet, but I'm so excited to see it because it is another really good tribal.
It's pretty great.
Yep. Alrighty.
Awesome.
See y'all later.